Go.
Anders here with the low back fix. Talking about single leg deadlifts today. What we're working on, a little bit of posterior chain engagement, that hinge pattern, and then adding some complexity to the movement with the kettlebell for some weight, with the bench back here for some scaling, and kind of how do we get through this movement, get the stimulus that we're looking for, and then add some depth to it by bringing a little bit of weight into the mix, and how do we build to that through that progression. For a basic movement here, this is going to look a lot like the Warrior 3. If we were to be here, we posted a video earlier this week, what we're looking for, pushing those hips back, stretching the hamstring, nice and balanced, and we're able to kind of extend our spine out, load the hamstring, work on that hinge pattern. It's not the easiest movement. You may be lacking the flexibility, you may be lacking the stability, you may be lacking just understanding spatial awareness and where your body's at as we kind of raise that leg and flatten out. This is a really difficult movement, but once we master this, you can pretty much master low back pain. You've got the mobility, you've got the stability, and you understand spatial awareness, and then we can start adding some weight and work on that strength piece. So what we do to teach this, we bring kind of out into a split squat stance here, but instead of coming down in a squat pattern, we're going to push that leg back, and you notice that we're going to work on the balance by adding another point of contact, pushing the hips back, and then instead of just standing up here, we want to think about pushing the ground away and squeezing our glutes. One big point of performance once we come back onto the bench is we can work on raising that leg by activating the glute on the opposite side. So we can be here, and this is a good position, but this is going to be a better position. And we can work on the balance on this piece and then come back to a standing position. As we start to progress, we can move this away, keeping that leg straight, squeezing this glute like we were practicing on the bench, but now we're doing it without that additional point of contact. Once we start to add a little bit of weight to this thing, we want to think about the counterbalances that are going on. So if I'm standing on just my left leg, if I'm overloading the left side, it's going to bring those hips, shift them a little bit, and we're trying to focus on keeping them square to the ground. So this is going to be good movement, keeping the hips square. This is going to be poor movement where the hips fly out and our hips are facing out. As we add the weight, we can work on keeping those hips square by going right arm to left leg, left arm to right leg, and it looks a lot like this. Push the hips back, squeezing the glutes, driving the ground away. If we want to add another layer of skill to this, we can load one side, and it's really going to put a lot of pressure on that balance. We're really going to challenge kind of where that weight's distributed and how those hips line up to the ground. So from here, we push back, the hips stay square, the back leg angle is straight, activating this glute here, and driving the ground away. Master the single leg deadlift, live pain free, www.thelowbackfix.com. Come and hang out with us.